Hello, hockey fans, or new hockey fans, or old hockey fans. Sorry. I'm Alexander. I'm a big hockey enthusiast, and you can see that with the Tampa Bay Lightning shirt that I have. I didn't bring a jersey over to college, but I do have some back at home. And I just wanted to show the internet, or who, whatever amount of hockey knowledge you have, I just wanted to show you guys how to use pro analytics hockey sites such as MoneyPuck or any other one that you want to guide your way through. I know that there's been a big influx of new hockey fans. You know, the Four Nations last year, the Canada won in overtime. Same with the one that America just won a couple days ago, or actually yesterday, Sunday. So, for you guys that are new to the sport and are looking to get into hockey for real, here is how you use some of those uh, advanced hockey sites. So, MoneyPuck is a very good site. It's very annotated. They'll show you everything pretty much. And what I want to guide you through first is the players section here. So here we can see the tables loading. There's a ton of players, so you can scroll all the way down. Here you see, hundreds and hundreds of players. Of course, you're going to see your Connor McDavid, your Nathan McKinnon, your Nikita Kucherov, all the best players in the league sorted by points. So what a money puck allows you to do allows you to sort through the everyday stats such as goals, assists, and points, and also through more of the niche statistics such as the percent of shift starts in whatever of the zones. You can look at more of the general stats. So if we sort by hits, so you see Yakov Trenin is the number one hitter in the league right now. Sherwood actually, I think, led the league a year ago or a couple years ago. So good to see him up there. You can sort by any stat that you really prefer. By 60 is a very good stat. So any stat that shows you by 60, for example, points by per 60 minutes will show you who's really scoring the most points per 60 minutes or per game. You can also see here per game. So shows you the best shot blocker per game is Brady McNabb, Vegas Golden Knights, and that's expected because the Golden Knights are a shot blocking team. They have been since their inauguration. And so yeah, you guys can just navigate. There's a ton of stats. You can see the table just keeps going, keeps going. Some statistics are more useful than others. So for example, high danger X goals. X goals is expected goals. So it's not gonna usually it's not a rounded number, because expected goals works in such a way that the percentage chance that you would have scored on that shot, it can be anywhere from 0 to 1, or well, percentage is 0 to 100, and then the X goals just dubs it down to 0 to 1 from a percentage. And so yeah, you can see McDavid and Hyman are leading, and you obviously Hyman is always in front of the net. He's always going to get those clear chances, so his expected goals should be pretty high. And yeah, you guys can just parse through the information like so. Same with the goalies section. So as you can see here, so goals saved above expected, you'll see a lot of, if you go on Twitter or you go on, sports betting sites or whatnot, the news is always going to refer to goal save above expected because that's more of a general statistic that they use now for rating goaltenders. And you can see, yep, Ilya Sorokin, Andrei Vasilevsky, Logan Thompson, the three expected guys that you would see are the leaders in goal save above expected. And goal save above expected works with the X goals statistic directly. So, however many expected goals against the goalie faced minus the goals against that they actually gave up is the goal save above expected. So you see, Ilya Sorokin's given up over 110 expected goals against, which that's not because of him. That's because of the team that he's playing for. And obviously, also, he gets a lot of starts. And then, he's been, I mean, I'm a Lightning fan, but he has been the best goalie in the league thus far. And these three guys should, by this statistic, they would be the Vezina guys. But you can probably see Vasilevsky a lot higher on the betting sites and whatnot because of his wins. And obviously, the voters also take wins and goals against average, which is a more of a general statistic. And whoops, I sorted it. So you can also sort by minimum games played because, he's only played what I maybe like half of a period or maybe like one period. Yeah, half of a period, so you don't want to see, I mean, good on him, he got a shutout in 10 minutes. But if you want to sort by the real starters, now you've got kind of the real starters. So you can see Vasilevsky's leading the league in goals against average, and then you got Braden Bussey. He's a good story thus far. And then the two Avs goalies that you would expect. And you can just keep going down and see who's the worst goalie, for example. Kevin Lankinen, that's not out of the norm for the Canucks this year, and same with Binnington, even though he had a very good um, Olympics. So good on him. And yeah, so now what we can do next, we go to teams. And here we can also look for goals percentage, expected goals percentage, whatnot. That is also useful. Corsi is basically the amount of shot attempts percentage that you have relative to the other team during the match. You can sort by that. Carolina is a heavy shot taker team and they don't allow a lot of shots. Makes perfect sense. Same with Colorado, and every other team kind of regresses to the 50%. Uh, the average is obviously in the league about 50%, and then every team kind of deviates depending on their skill. So San Jose is a young team, they give up some shots. The shots that they do take sometimes are good, but their goal differential is still, not that good for the placement in the standings that they're at. You can sort by all situations, which means basically it combines the 5-on-5, power play, penalty kill, any 5-on-3, 6-on-4, whatever situation, combines everything and it sums it all up. This is not the best for analyzing who really the best team is. I would use 5-on-5 a lot more to analyze statistics such as X goals. And then if you really want to look into the power play, this tells you, okay, so Montreal has a good power play in terms of the amount of X goals that they produce comparison to the amount of X goals that they give up. But that's not really that useful for a power play. That's not really a useful number to know for the power play. Uh, so what you can do here as well is which team is in which quadrant. So if you're in this top left quadrant, that basically means you're giving up more X goals against than you are producing X goals. So, teams like the Islanders, Sharks, expected Rangers, Blackhawks, Canucks, the good quadrant, vice versa, the opposite. So now X goals is greater than X goals against. Penguins, they're a good story. Panthers, injured. Mammoth have been good this year, etc. And then you get to the Abs who are having like a pretty much a really, really, really good season, historic season during the first quarter or first third, and then now they've been choking away a little bit some of those points that they had, which is all right. They don't need that. And then if you look at power rankings, you can look at how the power rankings works. Same situation, the power score is decided by the team's ability to win, and that is directly correlated. So you can see here about Lightning have about a 10% power score, 10% better than the usual team, and their ability to win is one of the highest as well. But you see teams like Buffalo are kind of a deviant in that statistic that can tell you different things. So it just depends on how you look at the statistics. Now for playoff odds, it basically tells you what percentage chance the team has to make a playoff. So MoneyPuck has the Avalanche and Dallas pretty much at 100% lock. Same with Minnesota. Tampa's leading the Atlantic Division right now by a few points, and they have a couple games in hand. Makes perfect sense. And you can keep scrolling down and seeing some of the other numbers. Those might be of interest. And now the most important thing that some people come to MoneyPuck for is the game previews. So you can click a game preview, and I'm just choosing my team of interest, the Lightning versus the Maple Leafs on the 25th. It's a couple days. So what MoneyPuck tells you, statistics such as the chance of starting, this is a really recent statistic that they developed. I'm not entirely sure how they calculate this, but I guess it just has to do with who started the night before, if they have a back-to-back, how good how much they've been relying on the starter versus the backup, or vice versa. So I guess that's how they calculate that. The chance of winning, a lot of factors that are hard to explain. I mean, their formula is probably pretty crazy, but that works behind the scenes. Like, sorry, there we go. So my bad. The browser had frozen for a second. Uh, this basically tells you, hey, so what are the chances that they'll have after something happens in the game? So if the Leafs beat the Bolts in regulation, boom, now they've just gotten a 4% increase in their playoff odds, according to MoneyPuck. And you can go down the line here. If they lose, because obviously this is a divisional game, this is going to matter more than a non-divisional game because that's basically like a 4 point game. If the Leafs lose, that means the Lightning will win, and it's kind of like a 4 point drop or a 4 point increase. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Money Puck. The final thing that I would show is just going back a couple days to when the last game was. Yeah, the last round of games. Here we can click on random game. So Money Puck is very good in telling you what the chance of each team was of winning during and after the game finishes. So they'll tell you the entire shot chart for basically each shot or chance that happened or like a missed shot, shot on goal, shot wide of net. You can see right there. Tells you the chance of scoring per each shot that happened or the chance that uh, it got on net. We can see that the bigger blobs account for bigger scoring chances and that the bolded, if I can get on that right there. Hold up. I'm trying to get on it, but that was a goal. You can see right there. Yep, goal. So, you know, Titcherin scored with a Strome and a Ovechkin assist, and it will tell you all the statistics that you want to know. And how they calculate this number, if I could get it again, is with the distance, the angle, and basically time of play. Even that might be a factor that they use, but essentially they just get thousands and thousands and thousands of shots that happen at the exact same distance, at the exact same angle, and how much they scored. So that's how they calculate that percentage chance. A good scoring summary, kind of like ESPN styled, except they have the all these other statistics that ESPN wouldn't regularly show you, and the expected goals during the entirety of the game. Same, you can switch this 5-on-5, flurry adjusted, which is something I'll explain in another video relating to the advanced statistics part of hockey. And if you want to see how good a player did in the game, John Carlson had a good game on 5-on-5. And then you can see, yeah, this is a rookie, so they're gonna have off games somewhat. Especially on the X goals situation, X goals against. If you're a forward and you're a rookie, you might not have the best defensive statistics expectedly. But at the end of it, Washington won the game, and they lucked out a little bit, or maybe the goalie had a good game because he saved 1.63 goals against average, or goals saved above expected, 1.69. So very good performance by Logan Thompson. Vezina Trophy candidate, and yeah. So that's pretty much what they've got to show you. If you want to check out the betting site, like the betting information here, the injuries, will show you stuff that is more widespread. But apart from that, that's pretty much how you parse through a website such as this. The final thing I would like to show you for those who are interested, MoneyPuck has all of your data available going back to 2008 for both team data, game by game data, season level data, whatever you want to see. If that's of your interest, you can download the information and it'll download it probably into an Excel file. And with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of rows of columns. I mean, yeah, definitely of rows, but at least, anywhere 30 to 40 columns of just all the information. And they recap all the shot data and how they use the shot data to calculate the probabilities for X goals and whatnot, angles, distances, etc. So, yeah. And that's how I use a website such as this to inform myself about a hockey game that I'm interested in, such as the Lightning games. fairly interested in those, and so I'll just come here to this website, or I'll parse through hockey Twitter, which is also sometimes people post good statistics before the game, and yep, that's pretty much how you use a website such as this. I'm just a hockey fanatic looking to educate some people on how to use these sites. So if you find this useful, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment anything. I would love to hear some feedback and some hockey fans, some new hockey fans, or some older hockey fans that are interested in building a community of hockey fans. Yeah. So that's all for me, and I hope you guys found this useful.